Good evening, gang. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you stopping by. And maybe something I say will maybe jog your memory or cause you to get into a mode of thought. Who knows? You know, I'm going to be doing this video much like I did the video after 15 years I got fired. It's Friday evening, it's about 6 o'clock, but it's still about 92, 93 degrees out here. Thank God there's a little bit of a breeze blowing. How you like my grapevine back there? It is loaded with grapes. But I hope to be able to get some this year before the birds get them. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. I appreciate it, as I said before. My name is Brian, and you're watching. So, what I wanted to talk about this evening, I'm doing this in a very relaxed manner. I've been in business for 24 years. The way I got started, I'll tell real quick. My brother lived in another part of the state, and him and his wife had property here, well, in the next town over, actually. And I was kind of in between jobs. I was a truck driver for 17, 18 years. And I will put a picture of the semi that I owned right here. And I had gotten out of the trucking business and everything, and I was looking for something to do. Well, my brother, like I said, they lived in the northern part of the state, and they own property here, or like I said, the next town over, rather, the next city over. He worked 6 days a week, and basically me going to cut his grass every 2 weeks is how I got started in the lawn care business. It basically fell in my lap. I didn't want to do it, but when an opportunity presents itself, you take advantage of it. But for years I cut grass wrong. You heard that right. I cut grass wrong. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there are 3 different zones in America, in the United States. You have the northern zone, you have the transition zone, and then you have the southern zone, or the tropical zone. And we are kind of sandwiched in the middle of the transition zone. Well, I used to cut grass at 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, and I thought I was doing the right thing. Because, you know, I always used to say it looks like a golf course. Well, boy, was I wrong. And I began to watch guys on YouTube, and they talked about striping grass. Now, before I go any further, striping grass has nothing to do with the height of the grass. You can stripe grass at 1 3/4, 2 inches long. Is it the healthiest for the grass? No. Striping is all about going opposite directions. You cut this way, and then you turn and you cut this way. And it is the, hold on a second. Okay, as the blades spin, there's a lift edge right here that creates vacuum. And as the mower moves across, that vacuum pulls the grass blade in the direction of travel. And then when you turn and go back the opposite way, this blade, the grass blades are this way. Then when you come back and go this way, the same suction going the same direction, but it's the opposite direction of where you just came from, so it pulls them this way. And when that happens, that creates the light and the dark effect that you see on grass, which is called striping. Well, I couldn't care less about striping. I mean, I really couldn't. But what I was finding out is when I would cut grass that short, in the summer heat of the state of North Carolina, where the humidity, you know, the temperature outside is 100 degrees and the humidity is 90%, the grass was dying. I don't mean stressing. It would stress, and then it would eventually dry up to the point it would literally die. And I had a customer one time call me and complain and said, "You killed my grass." Well, I'm not going to go into that story. That's a story for another video. But ended up, I did not kill her grass. But I was literally putting myself out of business. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when you're in a bed and it's cold, let's just say the electricity's out, and you're in your bed and you're trying to stay warm, what do? You put layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer of cover on you, blankets, to hold in that body heat, to protect your body from the cold. Well, grass is much the same way. This grass, and I'm going to pull a little bit up, this grass has a root system. It is a living, breathing thing. It has roots that go down in the ground. Well, when you cut grass this long and it's 90 plus degrees outside, it's like you've put that grass in an oven. And over an extended period of time, that oven will bake your grass and it will kill it. It will kill it dead. And I've got an example to show you here in just a second of exactly what I'm talking about. So I started doing some studying and I started doing some reading, and I can't talk about what Danny Lanier at Lanier Lawn Care does up in his part of the area, his part of the United States. I believe he's in either Illinois or Missouri. I believe Illinois. Well, they have what you call cold climate grasses up there. Kentucky fescue, Kentucky bluegrass, tall fescue, that kind of thing. I mean, they have that kind of grass. Down here we have Bermuda, Bahia, and Centipede, and St. Augustine. And St. Augustine is really making a comeback this year. I don't know why, but it is. But anyway, I'm gonna try to make this video short, sweet, and to the point as I possibly can. But I want to hit all of the points that I want to make. A lot of my customers don't like me cutting the grass as tall as it is, as tall as I am. But they're all pleased with how lush, green, thick, and healthy their lawns are. Every one of them. My yard has never looked this nice. My grass has never been this thick. Now, what are the benefits of cutting grass higher? Okay, number one, in the extreme heat, in the extreme dry, like we haven't had rain here in the state of North Carolina in 3 weeks, and we've had above 100-degree temperatures. What do you think that does to the root system of your grass? Especially when it's this long. It bakes it like it's in an oven, like I said. Well, what ends up happening? Well, the roots begin to stress, and that's when the grass turns that awful shade of brownish gray. Okay, that is your grass telling you, I need hydration. Dehydration will kill you. It'll kill a human being in a matter of 3 to 4 days. What do you think it's going to do to grass? It also protects, it insulates the ground, it insulates the roots from the heat of the sun. Now, why is that important? Well, you take a yard that's been cut to an inch, inch and a half, inch and 3/4, even up to 2 inches. The dirt is only, the blade is that long, the dirt is only about that far below the blade. Well, what happens is, regular soil temperatures in the state of North Carolina, they range anywhere from 90 to 105 degrees on any given day, no matter how long the grass is. You say, now you just said the longer the better. Hold on, I'm not done. When you got short-bladed grass, the roots have nothing to protect them. When you have long-bladed grass, it takes longer for that effect to start taking hold. the longer it takes, the better. Those roots have time to grow down, and the further down they go, the deeper they get. They're looking for water. Well, when they get down to that certain point in the soil, it gets cooler. And as they grow downward, they cool off and they stop stressing. That's why the grass you see around me is not stressing. My grass right now, this grass I'm sitting on right now, is some spots it's over a foot tall, but I will not cut it because I don't want it to start stressing. The second thing it does, it allows quicker recovery time. When you finally do get rain and it cools the ground off, the recovery time of the stressed areas of grass is far, far, far quicker. In other words, your grass will green back up almost overnight. Where especially if you live in a sandy area, the water just soaks right in and the grass doesn't have any time to absorb it. Where if you have longer grasses, your grass is longer, and when I say longer, I'm talking 1.5 inches up to 3 inches. That's not that much difference. It gives the water time. It slows the absorption of the water in the ground. It slows it way, way down and allows the ground and the grass to get the benefit of having it. Number 3, the benefit, it chokes out weeds faster. When you have a longer lawn, it doesn't allow weed seeds to get down to the grass, down to the dirt, down to the soil easily and germinate. And it creates like a fail-safe against weeds. Now, every bit of this is, you can look at all this on Google. It's every bit of it there. And what happens when you do cut your grass too short? Well, I don't cut my grass short, but I have a situation, and I'm doing this video because of this situation, because I wanted you guys to see, especially people that live in the South. I'm here to tell you, the reason you're having to spend so much money on your lawn is because of stuff like this. Cutting your grass too short. Well, you say, well, I don't want to have to cut my grass that often. Well, you're either going to cut it more often or have dead grass. I mean, I hate to be blunt, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's the direction you got to go. You're either going to have a dead lawn, you're going to have sparse coverage in your grass, in your lawn. You know, I've had customers in the past say, you know, I don't have any grass in my yard. Well, there's a reason. It's only this long. If you let it get out and flourish, it'll choke the weeds out that are trying to take over your lawn because they can't find the dirt. Your grass will be thicker and lusher and healthier. You won't have to water it near as much. If you'll quit cutting your grass short, so short, it will have time to rebound when you do get rain. But anyway, I'm gonna take the camera off and I'm gonna walk around. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Now, I've got the camera off the tripod. Now, you see, like I said, it's probably a little after 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's still 92, 93 degrees out here. But thank God the sun has gone down beyond the trees right there, so that I'm not in the direct sunlight. But you see how long this grass is? Now, I'm gonna stick my hand down in here along with the camera right here, and you'll be able to see how long that grass is. It's above my wrist. Now let me do this. It's above my wrist like that. So you're talking probably 6, 7 inches. Now let me walk around to the front of my office here, and I know you're seeing the lawn, I know. But see, the same thing around here. You see, there's no stressing areas in this grass. None. And we haven't had a drop of rain, like I said, in 3 weeks. You see how dry and barren that road is? There ain't been a drop of rain on it in, like I said, 3 weeks. And you see there's no stress areas out there. There's no stress areas out here. But let me show you something. Let me show you the result of heat. on the ground. You look at that. That grass is completely dead. Dead! It is fried. Now you think, well, Brian, what's the difference in that grass out there and this spot right here? This spot right here is where the septic tank is. You can see the shape of the tank. Right here, all the way down to here. It goes across there and goes back up there. That's the septic tank. Now, why did it do this? Why did it dry up and die? Well, the septic tank isn't but about probably 8 to 10 inches under the ground. And what happens is, as the soil gets extremely hot, the concrete radiates the heat back up. And that's what caused this. Now I want you to look. There's one little spot of green right here, but it's yellowish green. But this grass right here is fried and dead as a hammer. And guys, that's what you're doing to your lawn when you cut it real short. Now the proof's in the pudding. Would you rather have this or this? This or that? I would rather have that. I would rather pay somebody extra money to come and cut my lawn and cut it right and do it right and have my lawn look like this than have my yard look like this. What do you think? Now, I don't know about y'all. I think I've made a pretty good case. This is not a video that I'm trying to prove a point. I'm trying to educate you. You need, especially if you live from Richmond, Virginia down to Orlando, Florida, that's the transition zone. And it goes all the way across the United States, all the way from the East Coast to West Coast. If you live in that region, you need to stop cutting your grass so short. It's not going to survive. It's going to end up, over time, it's going to end up like that dead patch I just showed you. Now, will that grass come back? Maybe. There's some patches in it that you can pull the roots right out of the ground. I didn't do that, but you know, maybe I should have for effect, but I'm hoping you will take my word for it. But that grass is dead. I mean, there's no coming. It would take 3 or 4 thunderstorms to maybe wake those roots up. But the longer it stays hot with no rain, they're getting drier and drier. And I said it in the beginning of the video. Dehydration will kill you. It'll kill grass. It'll kill trees. It'll kill whatever it affects, whatever it touches. It kills it, because the life is in the water. And the longer your grass is, I've seen American Lawn Specialists. They're down in Alabama. They've had one of the hottest summers on record. They're cutting grass down there in Alabama at 4.5 inches, because there's no rain, there's no water. And it's because of that. If you look at go I tell you what you do. I'll put a link in the description below. Go to Ryan Hall, y'all, and watch his videos on the Ring of Fire, and that will tell you why we're having such a heat wave right now in this region. I mean, it's touching North Carolina, and what's happening is it's bowed up the jet stream like this, and the Ring of Fire is right in the center, and it's causing all of the storms and stuff to ride up over on the jet stream and bypass all of this. That's why we're not having any rain right now. Now, it's supposed to break down in the next week and a half. I pray it does. But until then, I'm not putting a mower on this grass. I don't care if it gets 2 feet tall. I would rather deal with it like it is than kill it completely like that over there. So guys, I hope you learned something. This is not a video meant to prove a point. As I said, this video is meant to educate you on Why am I having to spend so much money to to water my lawn and everything? If you would cut your grass higher, you wouldn't have to do it so much. So anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button, subscribe button, click the notification bell. You know the drill. Do it, please. This is Brian with Big South Outdoors TV, reminding you to live big, live southern, live outdoors. Until we meet again, folks, have a good one.